Vijayganesh, and this is the session that we are going to go bridging on-premise and cloud secure database migrations strategies to OCI. This is the topic for today's presentation, and I'm Vijay Shivaprakasam. So I head up the customer service for DBVisit, and I've been working with DBVisit for almost 9 years now. And I'm also an Oracle Ace Pro, and the QR code gives the link to my LinkedIn profile. And I also have my own website called as dbaace.com where I kind of publish articles of technical and non-technical stuffs. So you can follow me from LinkedIn, or you can even subscribe to my blogs as well from there on my website. So this is our agenda for today's session. So we'll quickly go through each and every topic, and then we'll have an in detail discussions on what does it mean to have migration to OCA from on-premise, and how it enables customers who are currently in on-premise to move towards OCA as well. So that's the final aim here, and how to do it in a much more easier and much more in an what do you say, kind of a time-tested way, I would say. So that's what our agenda what it looks like, and what is our main aim of this presentation is also. So before going into the main presentation, I'll talk a couple of minutes about DBVisit. So DBVisit is a database disaster recovery specialist for Oracle Standard Edition. So we have been in this field for almost 20 years. So we are we are almost now 2,000 customers across 120 countries. So we have been known for our reliability and stability of the product, and we also provide very good customer service. We have, as of last couple of years, we have 99.5% customer satisfaction and more than 95% renewals. And most of the team members that we have are all experienced DBAs who have worked on live production environments and who knows how important disaster recovery is as well. And so DBVisit we might be across 120 countries, but this is our team. So probably around 4 or 5 people are missing, but other than that, this is our entire organization. So we are a very small organization based out of New Zealand. So our main head office is in New Zealand, and we have people working from Prague, Czech Republic, and also from US as well. So this is our team, and every year we go to everyone get together in New Zealand, and then we spend a week together on training sessions and our experiences across this present year, and also have some fun as well. So now let's begin the session. And first and foremost thing is, when we talk about Oracle databases running in the cloud, one of the biggest advantages of choosing Oracle Cloud is its cost efficiency and the flexibility that it provides us. The transparency in pricing is also very important aspect here, as you can clearly see here. So what you're paying for, whether that's a compute storage or licensing. For example, you can see the monthly cost for having a production database in cloud for this particular configuration. For example, memory, CPU. So memory is 32 and OCPU is 2 OCPUs. And an external storage of it's costing around 712 GB is costing around $65. So on the whole, I'm spending somewhere around $560 for my production system that is running on cloud. And the licensing model is also very flexible. Either you can bring your own license, or the license is being included as part of your provisioning as well. And the pay and as you go model, which means that you only pay for what you exactly use. This is very valuable for test and dev environment or workloads that are running 24/7. Or not running 24/7. For example, if you are having a test system that doesn't have to be running on weekends, you can just shut down the systems and leave it as it. And DBCS, that is Base Database Services, has a major advantage because you can spin up as many instances as you want, and you can use it for development purposes, testing purposes. Once it's done, you can just destroy it. And compute bare metal, for example, not that much, but it retains much more scalability as well with database compute systems as well, with DBCs as well. Whoever it is, can you just mute, please? I think someone is not muted. Can you mute, please? Thank you. Yeah. And it is always possible for us to stop the unused machines in the cloud. In that case, there won't be any CPU related cost, but only storage cost will be charged. And another advantage here is the patching can be done directly from the OCA console itself. But we'll look at and if you're considering cloud, or if you're trying to move towards cloud environments, or from any other cloud, if you want to move towards OCI, the best way to do is compare your prices directly from the other cloud to your to OCA, because there's a cost estimator that is available for you. You could change it to any currencies that you want, and then you can directly find the benefits that you get out of OCI. So why consider using Oracle Cloud for Oracle database, especially base database services? Because the provisioning is much more simple and straightforward. It only takes 30 minutes for me to provision systems. So where it comes with a pre-configured storage, Oracle software installed, and an Oracle database created with your name. And the other main thing is administrative tasks like backups, patching can be done directly from the OCA console itself. You don't have to run your backup separately or configure your, schedule your time and do patching manually by running commands like opatch apply. You don't have to do anything of that sort. You can do it directly from OCA console. As you can see in this particular picture, you can see that diagram. You can see that you can apply database patch update directly from here itself. And it is also possible to change your virtual machine configurations or shape dynamically as well. For example, for a quarterly, half yearly, or a month, or a month-end job where you wanted higher resources, what you could do is you could increase the resources in your DBCS missions, and then use that particular resource for a month-end job, and then scale it back when your month-end job is finished. So because this would completely eliminate the need for your capital expenditure. For example, you don't have to pre-buy your entire infrastructure cost earlier. You just have to run with your operating expenditure, which can be varied month on month. So which is very, very important and very, very cool as well. And this will ensure that based on your varying workloads, you could choose to do whatever you want to do based on your requirements. For example, in a quarterly job, you might have to increase your resources such a way that it has to complete faster. By the same time, with your existing resources, if it takes, let's say, 5 hours time, with your improved resources, if it takes 2 hours time, that's a lot of saving as well. So that would ensure that your end users gets much more out of it. At the same time, your performance is also being taken care as well. And monitoring can be done directly from your OCA console as well, which is very, very important. And when it comes to hybrid, so why we are not including autonomous or Exadata here, because autonomous and Exadata are completely different picture. But when it comes to for hybrid, for example, if you want to run your one of your resources from on-premise and another resource from your OCI, then the two options that I would think of is the Oracle-based database services or bare metal VMs or compute. That is OCI compute, generic virtual machines, or we call it as the base database services. We call it as BDS or DBCS. So this, as I said earlier, includes your pre-installed Oracle database and Oracle grid infrastructure, an easy deployment and management, ready to go database missions within 30 minutes. And at the same time, um, the bare metal compute systems or VMs, like any other missions. For example, if you're looking at EC2 missions, it is like your EC2 missions where you could create your grid infrastructure, you could create your Oracle, install your Oracle-based software, and then manage everything manually within by yourself. So that is very, very important when it comes to hybrid version. Two options: Oracle-based database services, and the next one is bare metal VM.
Vijay, can you try to unmute?
Oh, sorry, did I mute it? How long have been
No,
mute?
no, 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 that's okay. Because I was about to mute someone, but accidentally it went you. Sorry. Yeah.
No worries, that's okay. I was wondering if I was talking alone. That's fine. When we talk about the bare metal VM, the Oracle licensing is not included. It is BYOL. The backups can be managed directly from OCI console, and the options are Linux and Windows. So Windows options is available when it comes to bare metal VM. When it comes to Oracle-based database services, it's customer favorite because of the cost. Because you can look at the cost much more easily, and then it is much more easily provisionable, fast provisions because uh, the the base software and databases are already installed. The another thing is you can choose between a standard edition or enterprise edition. And the patching and maintenance can be done directly from the OCA console itself, and the Oracle license is included in the cost. So there is an options for BIOL, but the most of the time you don't have to worry about additional licensing or any licensing issues because you can choose to have license included with your cost on a month on month basis. And another thing is it's available only on Linux platforms. It is not available on any other platforms. So we will focus throughout this presentation, we will focus on DBCS as it is a go-to options because as we have seen a lot of our customers who are adopting to DBCS now after recently we have seen there is uh, customer scaling towards DBCS rather than bare metal VMs, and we'll see why it happened that way. And the next question is why do I need to choose the Oracle Cloud, the use cases for Oracle Cloud? So why do I need to choose OCI if I'm already in on-premise? The first thing is need for DR. So this is a very, very generic requirement, general requirement actually speaking, because we need a DR because it improves resiliency of an existing on-premise environment by using OCI as a standby database and a high resiliency because you can create a out of region DR environment. If you are in on-premise environment, creating an out of region DR environment in on-premise is much more challenging because you have to look at where your data center has to be located, how do you connect to the network, and how much reliable the data center is, and how much expenditure it is going to cost because it's going to take a lot of planning and maintenance involved. There's a lot of capital expenditure is involved. But with OCA DBCS, it's quickly available at no infrastructure cost because you don't have to pre-plan. You can spin up the environments within 30-45 minutes. And you can utilize the license included option for database services because you don't have to look at pre-purchasing a license and the license lying without any usage for extended period of time. And standby database in OCA is a perfect solution because of scalability as well, because you can scale up and down your environment. So your environment need not be up to your production scale, you can scale it down as well. And second thing is complete or partial migration of databases to Oracle Cloud. So this is also a very cool use case. There are a lot of migration tools available in OCI. I'm not denying that there are a lot of tools available, a lot of efficient tools that are available, but that can be used for scaling an existing environment or new functionality projects can be moved to OCI and costs can be reduced by, as I said, the capital expenditure can be reduced much more significantly. And if you're going to migrate, you can migrate, do a gradual migration of your production workloads from on-premise to OCI by creating a DR environment there. And application tier benefits from OCA as well because there are a lot of tools and agentic AI and everything is available within OCA itself. An application tier can have a huge benefit from cost wise. At the same time, functionality wise, there's nothing like OCA compared to other cloud providers. So easiest solution from a DBA standpoint of view, easiest solution for both cases is physical replication in a hybrid environment. So I've been a DBA for almost 25 years. So what I would always prefer going this method because standby can be easily created on your cloud environment and can be used to carefully test and try out your cloud environment as well. So what you can do is you can create a standby environment, activate it, and then test your applications there. And if it's not required, you can just destroy, recreate another one. And another thing is, since it's a pay in as you go model, uh, you can don't have to commit fully for your requirements. So if it works for you, you can easily use it. Otherwise, you don't have to use it at all. And it also provides you the safe space for your testing. And you can validate your performance, connectivity, security, operational processes in cloud without touching your production system. So everything, and you can create a standby environment, activate it, and do every testing there to see whether how your application and users perform in a cloud environment. And cost-wise, this is also a very, very efficient approach. A standby database typically requires fewer resources than your production. Usually it is not recommended, but usually a lot of time we do it because we can scale up and scale down with cloud. So you don't have to commit to a production like resources for your DR environments, because in on-premise, you have to commit like production like resource for your DR environments. In cloud, you don't have to commit like that. You can have it as a reduced resources, and which keeps cost manageable as well. And second thing, when you're finally ready to migrate, the process is extremely smooth. A simple switchover or a failover promotes the standby database into OCA. And it completes the migration with minimal downtime. Another key benefit here is repeatability. You can run this migration test as many times as possible. With the on-premise environment, it becomes a little bit tricky because the provisioning itself takes a lot of time and there's a project deadline comes into picture. With OCI, especially with hybrid environments, you don't have to commit onto that. It is much more easier and straightforward. Now, let's look into the actual topic, OCI hybrid physical replication challenges. So when it comes to challenges, for bare metal VM, only typical challenges network connectivity, like your VPN deployment, getting familiarized with OCI provisioning and architecture. So you need to have a proper solutions architect to be help you with all these things. And challenges with OCA based database services, it shares a common challenge with OCA compute as well. But in addition to it, there's something called as forced TDE encryption challenge. So what is TDE? It's nothing but transparent database encryption. So this is forced when it comes to database DBCS. All Oracle databases running on OCA DBCS are forcefully encrypted by TDE. It is impossible to turn off the encryption. In real life, this is accomplished by having parameters like table space encryption, or in older versions, it's encrypt new table spaces. It is impossible to change this parameter via SP file or P file. So whenever database instance is started, the parameter is automatically set to auto enable. However, we try to disable it in an OCI environment because it will encrypt all new files. And TD is normally an enterprise edition feature with a paid extra option for advanced security option. But it is included free of cost in OCA DBCS for both enterprise edition and for standard edition. But TD is not enforced on OCA compute, because OCA compute, you install everything. It's like another virtual machine, you install everything. But with DBCS, everything is provisioned for you, and it provides you with an option of TDE as well. So now let's look at what do you say, your data guard primary database and a data guard standby database. So here, if you look at it, primary database is in your, let's say your primary database is in OCI DBCS host, and your standby database is on-premise. So from functionality wise, there is no limitations. Replication is available in both directions, failover, switchover, recreation of standby database. Everything is possible if you have TDE enabled on both. So if you have advanced security option in your on-premise environment, if you're running an enterprise edition database if you have purchased ASO license, it has no limitations at all, because your TDE is already enabled on your primary on-premise, which used to be a primary on-premise. If it's once your switchover is done, if your OCA becomes your primary, It will not have any restrictions because my TDE is already enabled there. And any encrypted data files on your on-premise environment. For example, from your data guard, from your primary database, which is in OCI, if I create a new table space or a data file, what will happen is when it's replicated to your standby database, it is always encrypted. It was required to encrypt data files on primary until version 19.16. So until 19.16, it has to be encrypted. So you need an enterprise edition ASO option. So it is technically, for example, if you have an on-premise primary environment and a standby environment in OCI DBCS system, it is technically possible to run on-premise database unencrypted and your OCI encrypted, but there are a lot of limitations and restrictions there, which is very, very difficult to overcome when you do a switchover. And some of the restrictions cannot be overcome as well. So let's look at the TDE licensing in hybrid physical replication setup. So if you're looking at RDBMS from 11G, 12.1, 12.2, 18C environments, it's on-premise enterprise only. ASO with TDE is needed. So you need to purchase ASO, Advanced Security Option. With OCI DBCS and Enterprise Edition and Standard Edition 2, both TDE is included free of charge. If you look at 19C, 19.3 to 19.15, enterprise only, ASO with TDE is needed. Same with OCDBS, DBCS environment, it is automatically enabled with free of charge. With 19.16, you can have an OCS DBCS environment, which is by default encrypted. So TD is no longer needed in your on-premise environment from 19.16 onwards and from 23AA and 26AA as well. For both these environments, you don't need an ASO with TD enabled on your on-premise primary database. Let's see how. So OCA DBCS will allow deploy custom images as well. That is something which you have to, older RDBMS can be deployed as well. So you can upload the image and you can deploy older RDBMS images as well. That's the reason we are showing our older versions. So from 19.16 to 23 AI, from 19.16 onwards, what changed? So Oracle was very much aware of the pain of TD licensing requirement for on-premise environment, and they saw this as a roadblock for people who are trying to migrate or have a standby environment in cloud with OCI DBCS, because OCI DBCS had TD enabled by default. That's why they provided a new parameter called as tablespace encryption. This parameter supersedes your encrypt new tablespace parameter. So on this tablespace encryption parameter has two values or three values. Auto enable, it is enforced default for OCI. So you cannot turn that off if it's in OCI. So all newly created table spaces will be encrypted, including newly added data files, if it's in OCI. Manual enable means default for all non-OCI databases. So if you have an environment in on-premise, the tablespace encryption parameter will be manual enable. So this is manually controlled which tablespace are encrypted. So if you have your ASO license, if it's by default manual enable, you can control, if you have TD setup done on your on-premise environments, you can control whether which table space and which data file that you want to encrypt. The key parameter here is decrypt only. So this is manually set on your on-premise environment, where all newly created table space must be unencrypted. Let's look at how this takes into effect. So physical replication with decrypt only in hybrid environment. So what happens is, so in these situations, whether you are in enterprise edition or in standard edition, you don't have to purchase your ASO license. So let's look at your data or your primary database in OCI DBCS host and your standby databases in on-premise host. So replications can be done in both the directions. Your failover and switchover can be done in both the directions, and you can recreate a standby database. New new data files are encrypted are always encrypted on what do you say, on OCA side, but it can be using the what do you say, decrypt only clause. For example, tablespace encryption is equal to decrypt only clause. You can ensure that any new data file or table space that is added in your OCA environment, which is encrypted, it will ensure that this is decrypted on your on-premise standby side. So data file remains unencrypted on the on-premise regardless whether the role is primary or standby. So if I'm running my OCI environment as a DR environment, any new table space that is created on on-premise environment is always unencrypted. But if I transfer it to your, if once the table space is added to your OCI environment, because my table space encryption parameter is auto-enable, there it is always encrypted. So here there is no reason for you don't need any options for ASO is needed. You don't have to buy an additional license for ASO. The only thing is you have to configure the table space encryption parameter. But there is a small bug here. So when you are trying to recreate a standby environment in your on-premise, what happens is the restore as decrypt doesn't work with RMAN because there is a bug. And there's a patch that is needed to be applied on both your primary and standby, especially on your on-premise environment, so that the restore as decrypt works. And that's the reason we say that, we also say that especially when it comes to standard edition, we always say that requires at least 19.27. From 19.16 onwards, this bug exists, but the bug was, what do you say, the patch was introduced only in 19.23. The restore has decrypted. The RMN bug fix was released only in 19.23, and they started to include that as part of the release only from 19.27 onwards. That's the reason we say that 19.27 will be the best release to be included. Now let's look at how do I configure the physical replication environment for hybrid setups. So first is provisioning a DB system. DBCS. This is your future standby. So you already have an on-premise production environment. So you just have to provision your DBCS environment. So you have to, there are a couple of things you have to take care of. Ensure that you provision the DBCS system with the same DB name as your primary database. Same for your PDBs. Choose a different DB unique name. Same Oracle patch level as your on-premise. And we say minimum is 19.27. Once the DBCS system is provisioned, drop the database, because we are going to recreate a standby database from your on-premise environment, right? So the reason why we say that you need to create, while provisioning, we need to use the same DB name and then different DB unique name. The reason behind is, um, when you run your patches and when you take your backups, everything is tied to your DB name and DB unique name. So you don't want that to be messed up. So that's the reason we always say match it with as your on-premise environment, production environment. And very, very important thing is your on-premise environment, that is your primary database, must have three things. So you need to create a location for your key store, that is your etc Oracle key store prod. Prod is a database name, and you have to set your table space encryption to decrypt only, because by default in an on-premise environment, it will be manual enable. So you have to set your decrypt only, and you have to set your wallet root as well to etc Oracle key store prod, and this requires a restore. And set your standby file management to auto in case of enterprise edition. In case of standard edition, it is not possible to set it to auto. You have to retain it as manual. So now next step is creating your key store on your primary database. Once you create your auto login key store and open your primary database with it, you must retain the key store. It will be part of your production database system. So even though your on-premise production database, nothing is encrypted, you cannot forget the password. Please remember the password. If you forget the password, you're gone. You have to ensure that you remember that password. Even though your on-premise environment has none of the table space or data files encrypted because your standby everything is encrypted. And ensure that you create your key store in united mode, not in isolated mode. Because in OCI DBCS system, TDE is supported only in united mode, not in isolated mode. So what you do is you open your so database is open, all your TD configuration files are set up, and you run your what do you say key manage. So first is creating a key store, and then making it auto login, and then enforcing the key store for your all containers. So this is something which is very default setup that you have to do for your on-premise primary environment. And once that is done, you can see your keys, wallet keys, and copy those wallet keys to your OCI environment. So here I just use an SCP to copy from my on-premise primary to OCI DBCS environment standby. So once it is done, create a standby database on OCI DBCS, use whichever method you like. You can use ARM and duplicate. For standard data edition, there are a couple of things. You have to use your standby control file, and you have to ensure that uh, you're taking a backup and restoring the backup on your standby side. And you also ensure that the following parameters has to be set as well. The TD configuration has to be set to key store configuration is equal to 5, and your wallet root has to be set to this particular location. And ensure it is by default, tablespace encryption is always auto-enable. Here you don't have to set anything, but it is always auto-enable in your OCI DBCS environment. And now what happens is, once your standby database is created from your on-premise primary, it is not encrypted. Your standby database is always unencrypted when you create it from on-premise. Default OCDBCS encrypts your CDBs and PDBs. For example, when you provision a database in OCI DBCS directly, it will encrypt everything. But if you create it as a standby database from an on-premise environment, it will not be encrypted at all. It will be completely unencrypted. But it is up to you to encrypt what to encrypt at this stage. So for example, here we have got it from an Oracle MOS note saying that customers can choose to deploy unencrypted database on both on-premise and cloud for hybrid DR configuration. It's very specific, hybrid DR configuration. It doesn't matter which site is primary and which site is standby. Thereby it's saying that any existing database files that is there on your OCA DBCS, it's up to you to encrypt it. But what we always recommend is encrypt them. But if your OCI DBCS environment assumes a primary role, let's say I do a switchover after creating my standby database in OCI DBCS, and I create a data file there or a table space there, it is always encrypted. So anything that is newly created on an OCI environment is always encrypted. So that is very, very important. So these are some of the useful SQLs that are needed for you. For example, the first one will tell you whether your key store is auto login or not. And the second one is it must match on both primary and standby, must be empty in CDBs and PDBs when creating the key store for the first time. And results, the third one, results may vary for your on-premise because it might be no for your on-premise. It will be no for your on-premise. And it has to be no for your on-premise because we have only created your wallets. We are not using those wallets to encrypt anything on your on-premise environment, which is very, very important. And second thing is, when recreating your on-premise database as your standby database, you have to use restore database as decrypted. That as decrypted is a keyword that has to be used. Otherwise, it will try to restore the database as an encrypted database. And if you're restoring a pluggable database, you have to use restore pluggable database as decrypted. So here, just what do you say? A kind of overview of how it is done. So if you look at on an on-premise side, I have my table space encryption parameter set to decrypt only, wallet root is set, TD configuration is set, auto login of the key store is set, and all the data files are unencrypted. And on the standby side, the table space encryption parameter is set to auto enable, wallet root is set, TDV configuration is set to file, and I've copied my wallet keys from primary to standby, and everything is encrypted on my OCI DBCS side. An easy migration is switchover or failover. So, as if you have to give an example, one of our customers, what they did was they did a switchover and then they checked the performance of their primary database while the primary database on OCA still is what do you say is transferring archeologs and applying syncing up with the on-premise standby database. Once they are satisfied with it, they continue to use it. If they're not satisfied, they would do switch back again and then go back to their drawing board to see what went wrong with their OCI environment and how it can be improved. So that's one of the migration strategies as well. Either doing a switchover or doing a failover. Next is this is something which is very kind of a very important project when it comes to DBvisit. So you can configure your physical replication on SE2, hybrid physical replication with SE2 with DBvisit standby as well. So the steps that I have told you right earlier, so creating a wallet, keys, and everything can be done directly with SE2 as well using DBvisit, configure a hybrid setup without having to do any manual setups. So DBvisit Standby provides a very simplified method to create and maintain your physical replication for SE2, both sides, both your primary and standby side. We use asynchronous archeolog synchronization. So we, instead of redo replication, what we do is we transfer archeologs from primary to standby and then restore that archeologs in standby. We do that at regular intervals. And we provide streamlined OCA hybrid replication configuration as well. And we provide both switchover and failover capabilities in standard edition too. And we also include an automatic data file addition on the standby database, which is very important because when you look at the specific parameter that we talk about, right? Whether I have to whether we talked about whether the parameter has to be set to auto or manual. With standard edition, the parameter has to be set only to manual. So any new data file that is created on my primary will not be transferred to standby or restored on standby. So DBvisit standby product also takes care of that. So, and so if you look at the interface here, it's very simple and straightforward. So from an on-premise environment, if I create a configuration, what it does is it automatically recognizes whether my standby is in OCA or not. And you have the possibility to choose a specific DB unique name, and we provide a streamlined standby database creation as well. So we don't use duplicate. What we do is we take a backup and then transfer it to standby and then restore the backup on standby database. So what are the steps that we take care? So anything that you do in your enterprise edition, everything is a manual work. So creating a key store, setting of your parameters, standby database instantiation, everything has to be done manually in your enterprise edition. But with standby MP, everything is done automatically for you. The only thing that you have to ensure is you create a TDE wallet file and you have to ensure that particular wallet password, you have to remember it. It is also possible for you to, for example, when you create a standby database using the product itself, we restart your primary database. But as a DBA, I'm not for it. I don't want any third-party product to restart my production database. So what will I do is, based on my convenience, I will set those parameters and restart my production database. And then DBvisit will automatically recognize that, okay, fine, these parameters have already been set, so I will not restart my primary database. So that's also possible. And once this is done, the next is graceful switchover process. So graceful switchover is nothing but zero data loss role reversal. So it is repeatable, no data loss is done. So your primary becomes your standby and your standby becomes your primary. So it's very ideal procedure for testing your OCI environment to run as production site. and can also be used for migration purposes, because we have few customers who used our product to migrate on-premise SC2 environments to OCI DBCS environments. And some of them even used it for migrating to bare metal VMs as well. And failover process. So that is nothing but activation. Regardless of the primary state, I can activate my standby database directly. So this is nothing but open read write with reset logs. This is an ideal procedure for migration or for any disaster events that has occurred in the on-premise environment. So when you want to recap everything that what we have done is, we have ensured that whether it is enterprise edition or standard edition, Oracle provides a very reliable and a very easy method for you to migrate from your on-premise to a DBCS, where DBCS is something which is very, very, what do you say, transparent when it comes to pricing, setting up provisioning, and also scaling up, scaling down. And from a licensing aspect of it, everything is very, very transparent with OCA DBCS. And when you want to migrate from your on-premise to OCI, DB, or your databases, you're either going to a bare metal, autonomous, or DBCS environment. So if you're looking at having a better control of your database environments without giving up your control of your operating system and everything, then OCI DBCS is the best method to go, because provisioning happens, patch application happens automatically, backups can be configured to your object storage automatically. So these are some of the advantages that we look at it when it comes to OCI DBCS. So that's why Oracle introduced Oracle filled the gap of migrating from on-premise to OCI DBCS, especially from 19.16 onwards, providing this beautiful parameter called stable space encryption, which resolves a lot of issues. And with this, my session is completed, and I'd like to talk about Oracle ACE program. So as an Oracle ACE, it is very important that we contribute to the community. You might be doing something which is very, very small, like you might be doing some blogs, you might be writing, answering some questions in Oracle community post, or you might be doing some webinars. So these are something which is very key things, and Oracle recognizes these key contributions and provides you with a nice flashy badge called as an Oracle ACE. These members get benefits like direct access to product development, global networking events, and exclusive training and content. And we also get cool swags. I'm sure whoever is here as Oracle ACE would know that the swags are ultimate. And your profile is listed on oracle.com as well. And Oracle has introduced a completely a new program called as an Oracle ACE Apprentice, wherein you can become an apprentice and then strive to become an Oracle ACE Associate or an Oracle ACE Pro. So that's how you can go from one each step. And another important thing here is Oracle also, for an Oracle ACE Associate, an Oracle ACE Pro, and Oracle ACE Directors, they provide you with a cool $5,000 USD cloud account where you can play with any new products, any new features. And it also provides you access for Oracle ACE Associate onwards, it provides ACE Apprentice onwards, it provides you access to cool Slack channels wherein you can talk to fellow ACE, Oracle ACEs, get their, what do you say, advice. If you are stuck with a problem, they will help you with, provide you with advice. That's something which is pretty cool. And I have hugely benefited being part of this Oracle ACE program. I'm sure whoever is Oracle ACE here can attest to that, especially Basha, who is an Oracle ACE director, can attest to that as well. That's it from my side. Do you have any questions? I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Yeah, you can unmute yourself, and then if you have any questions, please shoot. And Vijay, thank you for adding the two slides of Oracle program. That's very good.
No
Yeah.
worries.
Hi Vijay, thanks a lot for such a beautiful session and knowledgeable session. Just a small question. It will be you will confuse why he's asking like that, but it's just for the query. have you seen any case where the people are migrating back like in the reverse way, coming from OCI to on-premises?
Well, so far I have not seen anyone come back from OCA to on-premise, but if there is a scenario like that, it is supported as well. So that's a key, that's the advantage of that table space encryption parameter, right? So if you're an OCA DBCS and you have an on-premise presence for the next 3 to 5 years, you can still use your on-premise environment to go back and forth as well. That's entirely possible.
Okay, great. And secondly, sorry for joining late, but what I understood is that we require to once we finish up all the setups and the uh, sync is there between the primary and standby, we have
Mhm.
to cut over. We cannot switch over in this case, right?
Yeah, you can switch over. You can switch over or fail over. Both you can do.
Ah, okay.
Both are possible.
So, and
Both these are possible.
once we switch over, is it possible to switch back to the on-premises?
Yes, it is possible. So once you switch over, what happens is your OCI becomes your primary and your on-premise becomes your standby. That's the challenge that people had when they were testing their migration process, wherein any new data file or table space is added in an OCI is encrypted, and when it's transferred to your standby environment, which is an on-premise, earlier versions it was by default encrypted, which violates the TD licensing agreement for on-premise. But with tablespace encryption parameter set to decrypt only, it will automatically decrypt that particular new data file or tablespace that has been added, and will ensure that whatever is added is it's not encrypted at all, and TD licensing agreement is not violated at all.
Okay, okay, great. Thank you so much once again.
No worries.
Yeah, hi Vijay, I'm Srinivas here.
Yes, Srinivas.
Yeah, sir. Any training providing your on OCA?
Oh no, I'm not providing any training on OCA, but I what I would say is if you go to Oracle support site, I think the Oracle Cloud training, some of them are quite free, are free,
Okay,
especially the architect training are free. Uh,
okay.
Rahul Rai has done an amazing job in doing all those trainings with other people, and have hugely benefited out of that, and the training is very good.
Rahul Roy.
Vijay, so
Okay.
Vijay Sudhanshu this side. So
Mhm.
sorry to say, like in this time, Oracle support site is accessing is too much tricky things, as the site is totally changed. So even though if
Yeah.
you have to download any patch or something,
Yes,
so it
correct.
is you have to struggle a lot. So I don't know who
Yes.
is the gentleman give the idea to change the sites. That I don't know, but really that is really bad things for us to use that
No,
Oracle
no, I
support site
agree.
in this way.
No, no, I agree. I agree. It's a little bit of a struggle right now with the new support site and new structure that is there with Oracle support site. What I usually do is, yeah, especially with the patch apply earlier, what happens if you're part of support? So sorry, this is a little bit off topic. I'll speak for 30 seconds about this. So earlier what happened was anyone who are part of support.oracle.com website were able to download the patch without any issues. But with the new changes, the administrator has to grant you an what do you say, an access to download the patch. So they have to enable that access so that you can download the patch when it with the new support website. So even I was thrown away by that because some of my team members were not able to download. That's when I found out that you need a specific, this access has to be updated for that specific person so that they can download the patch. And when it comes to Oracle Learning website, I always go to learn.oracle.com. From there, I look at my learning and other things. But yeah, that's how I go about with
So
learn.oracle.
is it
I,
the Rahul Rai, whatever slides you are saying, that is present in learning.oracle.com?
Yeah, it's learned at Oracle. Rahul I is done from a long time, and now there are a lot of people who have who have given
So if
inputs to the
possible for you,
database.
can you
Yeah,
please share the link
I
over the
already
chat?
shared. I already shared it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
Ah,
can
okay,
see in the
that's
chat
fine.
window. Yeah,
okay.
you
Okay.
can.
And
There
one
are a
more
lot of
thing,
various trainings
I
also.
have a okay, I have a small doubt, Vijay, that
Uh-huh.
as you told that in Enterprise Edition we have to do the encryption manually, right?
Yeah, the
However,
table space
in
encryption parameter has to be set to decrypt only on premise.
decrypt only. So while doing the switchover or failover, the DR will be means
While setup.
no. While setup, the DR will
Yes.
be automatic. It will automatically decrypt the data and
Yes.
write onto the DR side. Then
Yes.
it will again encrypt it on in DR side as well.
So what happens is, for example, if your on-premises is your primary environment, you have to set table space encryption to decrypt only. The OCI side table space encryption parameter will by default be set to auto enable. You cannot reset the parameter to any other value.
Okay.
So that's how it is. You have to set it up.
No.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm
Okay.
just I just wanted to know when we will make a setup, the data will be transferred as a encrypted means a decrypt mode, right? Decrypted mode on a DR side. So later
Which
on,
is
we
your
have to
DR
do
side?
manually to encrypt
Which
data
is
on
your
DR
DR
side,
side?
or it will. Sorry.
Which is your DR side? It depends, right? So forget all that. Your remember only this. Table space encryption as always should be set to decrypt only in your on-premise. Okay?
Okay.
That's one thing that you have
Uh-huh.
to remember. That's the only thing that you have to remember. Table space encryption parameter has to be set to decrypt only in your on-premise. That's one thing you have to remember. And this has to be done when you are creating a DR in your OCI environment itself. So thereby it makes it much
Okay.
more easy.
Okay. 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 Thank you very much.
No
Yeah.
worries.
Hi, Shahzad this side. I have one question. Okay. We have a plan to shift our EBS to cloud.
Okay.
So for that, can you brief us what we have to do and all? Like as we have done a little bit small module wise, we are shifting from our on-premises EBS to cloud. Okay, we have shifted our Fusion is done. So can you give us the brief architect how it will be shifted and all, and what we have to do as a DBA for
Okay.
future perspective once our all the premises. Actually, we did not have an path, and Oracle did not share that the full path how they will shift it. They told, okay, we will do like that only.
This itself is,
Huh?
this itself is an entire presentation altogether. Unfortunately, with the time that I have,
No,
I
I need just a little bit path, like as okay, they will go like in EBS module wise, or they will shift it, and and in a future perspective, what will be the our role?
see.
Because we heard a lot of might be it is a rumors or not sure. If you can
I
give me
think
some brief.
probably right. He's asking this way, not about the technical thing, and
Yeah.
how to shape the career to suit with the new migrations. How they migrate the EBS to the OCI, basically with the new fusion middleware. So, what flavors they have to add in their career? That's what you're asking, Shajar.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. In the career, and what is the how they will shift it, if you have any idea of like they will shift it small pieces, or they will shift it one time full our on premises EBS to on their own cloud or servers.
See, it's what we usually say is when it comes to specific as a DBA from a DBA standpoint of view, from EBS DBA standpoint of view, um, there is no what do you say? There's no escape from not learning anything that is there in cloud. So your knowledge will become redundant if you're stuck to on-premise. You will have to move towards cloud. That's very important. And the other question I cannot answer because I don't know from an Oracle standpoint how they're going to do it.
Okay, no issues. I just
From a
I
DBA
thought.
standpoint, I'm not an EBS DBA, but I'm
I
from
think
a DBA standpoint.
Yes.
Jyoti message like here. Maybe she's ready to answer on this actually.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm an ex-Oracle actually. So I spent it, just recently, I moved out of Oracle. So let me try to address Shahzad the, answer. So because we also do the same thing. So anyways, first of all, you should not have to be, scared that what they are doing, right? So they would be, applying their best practices for the migration purposes, and you should keep your eyes and ears also open because they'll be giving a dedicated handover also to you, because these are the people who will be from the consulting team or maybe from the advanced consulting team. So they'll be only till the migration, and maybe just for weeks or 10 days just for the post implementation support. Rest you guys have to manage. So try to learn, and as Vijay mentioned, that there should not be a blocker for your learning purposes. And Oracle has got a lot of content of database cloud services over the Oracle University portal. Probably I'll also share that link, and I think that will be great if you can start learning, because what they'll be telling, what they'll be doing it, because on premise they're not aware of what is your system all about, right? So they'll straightforwardly, just as a keeping the eyes closed and ears also closed, not ears closed, but eyes closed, and whatever you're going to tell, that only they are going to migrate, right? And the path, as Vijay has shared us, like it could be uh, creating a standby database, or whatever the approach they'll be doing it, they'll definitely going to share with you people. So don't worry on that part, I
Okay.
would suggest. And in case you have any queries, probably I'll drop in my contact also. I can share you more details on those areas also. And that's all I can do, right? But the
Uh,
Oracle portal is quite informative and very easy to learn. I think you should start immediately what is database cloud service and what are the versions of those services. And EBS anyways you guys know very well.
Thank you, Jyoti. Yeah, I know about the OCI and all. Only just I need to know the purpose and how it will be.
It will be acha, one another thing I missed out. It is a EBS migration, right? As you
Right,
mentioned.
right. Yes, yes.
So
It is
it will
EBS.
be, they're not going to define anything new. They're all going to, follow the approach which is mentioned in the MOS documents.
Okay.
That's it.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
you just go through the documents also. Using your, Solman, not Sol, some manager is there. I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
Solution
Thank.
manager or something like that.
Actually, I
Cloud
heard.
manager.
Thank you, Jyoti. But I heard after the migration done, okay, they told that they did not need a DBA like as patching. Okay, there is two or three tasks that we as a DBA
Then
we are
what? But
doing
there are
person.
certain other things to
So
manage.
like
That's what
cloning,
I'm
they will
saying.
cloning it will be automatic. Patching it
Uh,
will be automatic, and
that
then
also, but someone has to authenticate, no? How, whether this cloning has done, perfectly right or not, right? Whether this patching is done correctly or not. So you have to, place a plan also, right?
Yeah. Strategy
So
and
we
planning.
also do it for other customers. Like, it's not like if I'm sitting in Oracle data center and you just simply, there will be a checkbox to update. So if you update
okay,
that checkbox, or sorry, click that checkbox and patching will happen. Yes, it will happen. But the outcome of that, you guys have to authenticate. Whether this patching has, crashed your system or that has added value. Right.
oh,
So every time you will be notified for the patching part. So you guys have to be, very much supportive to Oracle data center team also then. You have to touch base on that part also. You'll get notification over the mails. Right.
Yeah.
So
and
then only,
Mm.
unless and
Very
until you click that checkbox, those guys are not going to start that patching.
right, right, right.
Yeah. Thank you, Jyoti.
Thank you,
I
Jyoti.
think
Thank you.
I don't
It
want to
is
take
very
much more
informative.
time. Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thanks,
I
Jyoti. That
think
was very good, actually.
yeah, yeah. Okay. I think we can wrap up our session. If no one has any questions, basically, okay. And thank you once again, Vijay, for your time and all the attendees for joining. Okay. And the future webinars I publish on various social medias.